All right, I want to do a quick video on removing and installing one of these mower decks from these Craftsman machines. They're basically the same on the 38s and the 42s. The only difference is on these older ones, they're rod driven. The newer ones had a cable hook and it would have hooked right here for the 38. These are better. These rods don't wear out. Those cables wear out. All right, I already took the deck off because the blades I had, I wasn't certain they were the right ones. So I wanted to make sure before I made a video on this. But it's real simple. So we're gonna see how far I've advanced since the last time I made this video doing this. I'm on the other LT4000 that I had 8-10 years ago when I made the original video. All right, so back under it goes, right? And this is the same process in reverse when you're taking it off. It's really not difficult. First, get the blade back up on the pulley. Belts back up on the pulley, rather. All right, then pull it back a little bit. Okay. Then this one right here, for these rod-driven ones, goes into, can you see it? Will I be able to show it? Where is it? I can't even see it at the moment. There it is. It goes, where is that sucker? This is the way. Hold on, I'll show it. I can. There, right there, you see it? I'm pointing right at it. This goes in first for the rod-driven ones. Okay, that has to go in first. Get it lined up. Get that in. All right, it's in. Take the one small clip for that. Push that back into place. Right. Where are you? It's a little tough to see it, but you'll get it. That one's in. All right. Next one's, you drop these down. These ones, they come down from under the chassis. Get the deck lined up as good as you can. Get this, I'm gonna have to lift the deck a little bit. That one goes back in. One bigger pin. In. Same thing on the other side. This one, this thing popped out. These are usually welded or pressed in. This one fell out, but it doesn't matter. Once you put it back in and clip it, it's fine. All right. Again, same process. Lift the deck a little bit. Get that arm lined up on that pin. I'm doing this one-handed. Bear with me, and the camera's not showing it. Another clip right here. Some of the older ones don't have the center support. The ones with the cable definitely do, because the cable goes through the center support right here. That's another one right there. And then your two front arm ones right here. One clip. And then I got one more clip right here for this last arm. Right here. That's lining up like it is. You know you did the right. You know you did a good job. Last one. Didn't lift the deck and make sure everything's lifting properly. Because I know on that one machine it was getting hung up that one time, that one video I made. That's it, it's done, it's on. What'd that take? 5 minutes? I know the first time I did this, it took like an hour to take it on and off. So I changed the blades, they were overdue. The one other thing, the reason I did it was, the other blades I took off, they're still in decent shape, they just need to be sharpened. But they're going on another deck for another machine. So now is the time to put the new blades on. And then I'll use those, I'll sharpen those blades and put that on the machine that needs blades bad, really bad. They must have came from the shore area where it's sandy, because those blades are worn out bad. You know, in ways you don't see up here or North Jersey, and the reason for that is because it's more sandy. So I didn't have the tool. There wasn't much debris under there, but I didn't have the scraper tool with me because I'm not at my house where all my tools are. So I used what I had to scrape most of the grass out from under there, because you don't want to leave built up grass under those decks. It will eventually rot them out, especially these 38s, 42s too. But that process applies to the 42-inch deck as well. I think all the 42s are cable driven. There may be some early ones that had the rod driven ones, but these older 38s were rod driven. If you go back even earlier to the earliest ones, like 90, 91, basically the same deck. I don't think it had the center support, and the blades are different. The way they're not keyed the way these newer ones were. So just keep that in mind. There's an actual adapter, and then the blade sits up in the adapter, and then the bolt goes in. But on these, that's it. That's it. So let's see. Now I'll get to see how much better it cuts with brand new blades. I'm sure it's going to make a big difference. The other ones weren't too bad. They could have been resharpened, but is this fuel off? Yes, it is. Walbro carburetor on a flathead, like it's supposed to be. 12 horsepower, even though it says 12 and a half. 12 horsepower. And that's it. That's how it's done. If you wanted to reset the height, these are lock nuts. You undo them. The more they come out, the lower the front of the deck comes down. And then on over here, there are adjustments on this back ones. Yeah. Yeah, right here. 1 and 2, both sides. Up, lifts it more, down, lowers it more. Mine's good where it is. That's it. That's how you remove the deck from one of these Craftsmans. 1990, even the late 80s ones, all the way to 04. Then 05, they came out with them cheaper junk decks that have only one arm here, which gives these decks too much play. And what happens is, on those newer ones, the bracket that's right here on them snaps off. And then you either got to buy a new deck, or if you're not a weld, you got to weld the bracket back on. But these had, you know, this support the two supports underneath and the two arms up front. So there's really not much wiggle room to this. And even if there was, then it's not hooked on anything where it would snap. So another reason why these were better machines. So if you see this video and you see one of these machines, yeah, at a decent price, even $700, it's worth it than buying one of those new pretty red ones that look brand new, because they're gonna fall apart far faster than these older machines. This is 29 years old. It's not tired. I did notice the oil level was low 2 times I checked it, so it may be now at this point starting to consume a little bit of oil, but I just monitor it for now. And when the time comes, it can be either rebuilt. I can put, where is it, that flathead on, another flathead I have at the garage, shed. So, and also these aren't even the correct tires. These tires came off an MTD, but they made them work. Eventually, when I get around to it and I get a set of, well, I have a set of Sears, proper Sears front rims, but I would have to put either swap these tires over or whatever. That's the only other thing. But they're fine. They just have a little more movement to them than they should. Because, I don't know, I guess whoever sold it to my neighbor, didn't have the right tires, or they were shot. So he stuck a set of MTD ones on, because when you pull this cap off, the grease fitting's right here. It's not supposed to be here. The grease fitting's supposed to be built into the rim. Okay? And then on those older Craftsman ones, they used these metal bushings, which on the older ones basically never wear out. On the newer ones, they do start to wear, and when they wear, they start eating into the spindle. The spindle is the thing that it slides onto. I haven't had this issue with this machine. I've rarely seen it on these older ones, but I have seen it on the ones after 056. So that's it. That's how it's done. So it looks like I've advanced quite a bit from 8-10 years ago, because it took an hour to get that deck off and get those new blades on and then put that deck back on. This time, well, I already had the deck off, but that only took 5 minutes. 2 minutes to throw the new blades on, 5 minutes to put the new deck, the deck back on. But it's the same exact thing for the 42s with those same bracket setups. The only difference is, instead of it having the rod driven, which is way better because they don't break, it's a cable. It comes down, it goes through that back piece I showed you, and then it hooks on that one pulley. The bolt comes up higher. It has a little hole for the spring to go through, and then you put a washer and a clip through, and that's what engages those newer ones. Problem with those cables are they either break, snap, freeze from rust. You don't have to worry about that with these. So these were far better machines. Plus the chassis. This part comes off on its own. These pieces come off on its own. You don't have to take a bunch of stuff apart to take the whole panel off like on them. So, and I bought a desulfator. This battery right here, which is an interstate battery, it's a better battery. It was only getting the 11.8 volts. I bought one of those desulfators. I had the desulfator on it, I don't know, close to 2 weeks, on and off, then charged it, the battery, put the desulfator back on, charged it, desulfated, charged it. It's holding at 12.5 volts. It's got enough amperage to crank the engine over. And so that's a battery that was dead and brought back to life. So I didn't have to buy another battery. And those interstate batteries are more expensive, way more expensive than like the Walmart ones. So that's that. So that battery will stay on here for now. And now I'm gonna mow the lawn. And then after that, I don't know, we'll see. Depending on the amount of time I have, I've got other stuff to do. But, get as much as I can done in one day as possible. But bottom line is I stay busy and work my ass off. So with that, I'm gonna leave you guys with some inspirational sayings, okay? One, you don't ever let anybody think of you negatively and let it impact you. Don't care what anybody else thinks of you except for yourself, okay? If you feel good about yourself, that's all that matters. And the key to life, that's the key to life. That's the key to happiness. Who gives a shit what anybody else in this world thinks about you? Who are they? They're nobody. And in fact, anybody who has to do that shit to put another person down is doing it because they feel shitty about themselves and they're trying to lift themselves up. That's all it is. And the other key to life is, if you get knocked down, you don't lose unless you don't get back up. And with that, I'm gonna leave it. Take care, guys.